What's up, boys? It is UFC Fight Night 254, and as always, we start
At the top of the
at
card.
the top of the card. We see Martin Vettori in the middleweight division coming up against Roman Dolidze. Martin Vettori is 19-7-1. Last fight lost to Jared Cannonier by unanimous decision. Coming up against Roman Dolidze, who was 14-3-0. Last fight beat Kevin Holland by first round TKO. This, of course, is a rematch from UFC 286. Last time, Vettori winning by unanimous decision over 3 rounds. So, BG, how's this one going to play out, bro?
Just correct me if I'm wrong. Is this fight 5 rounds or 3 rounds?
I think it
5
should be
rounds.
5.
Five.
It's a main event.
5 rounds.
There
Okay,
we
that
go.
changes a lot because going to the fight, I was going Roman Dolidze. I think the momentum is on his side. He's been more frequent, more active over the course of the last, say, 3 years. Vettori, his last fight was against Cannonier in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Then he lost that one and has been inactive since. Just don't know if he's been training. He was supposed to fight Brennan Allen. Then that fight didn't follow through. Now we've got Roman Dolidze taking this fight rematch. Yeah, I was gonna go Roman Dolidze. I think he's showcased some good attributes in his last 2 fights. Conditioning is really there. Seems to have made the weight transition into middleweight quite nice, quite handsomely because he was 205 before this. So he seems to have found a good weight for himself. I just don't know about the 5 rounds. That's the thing. That's because it was 3 rounds. I would have gone Roman Dolidze to win the fight. I think he's cleaner in the strikes. I think he hits a bit harder than Vettori. Vettori's got top conditioning, very durable. He's been in there with the best of the best in this division, and none of them is able to knock him out. He fought Easy twice. Easy wasn't able to put him away. He fought Whittaker. Whittaker wasn't able to put him away. He's fought against hard hitting guys in the middleweight division, and none of them was able to beat him or was able to knock him out or even just drop him. So he's very, very conditioned. So he can go 5 rounds. And I think that's where I'm a bit concerned for Dolidze. I think Dolidze is probably going to storm him over round 2, rounds 1 and 2. Probably try and get the job done in those 2 rounds. But then he's going to realize that Vettori is probably still going to stay in there and they have the better gas tank and probably going to out volume Dolidze again. That's how he won the first fight with the volume of strikes. People are arguing that Dolidze was the one that had the more damaging strikes, but it was a close fight. So we're probably going to see something like that happen in this fight again, where we may see Dolidze win rounds 1 and 2 quite convincingly, and then maybe slow down round 3, 4, and 5, and that's where we're going to see Vettori take over the fight and out volume Dolidze round 4. I'm saying that because of the stylistically of how these guys are, but we haven't seen Vettori fight in 2 years. Is he going to be as conditioned as he was back then? Is he a bit more aggressive? Is he going to come out better fighter than what he was before? Not too sure, but if you go anything served on how they stylistically match up, I think Vettori is going to win the fight over 5 rounds and go to decision.
Fair play, BG, fair play. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any thoughts on this one, drop us a comment there. Let us know. And of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all those good things. Babu, you're a massive, massive Roman Dolidze fan, if I'm not mistaken. Give us your thoughts on this one, bro. How's this going to play out?
Interesting fight. I would like to see how Marvin Vettori looks after the long layoff. Before going on the layoff, I think he was just starting to really fall in love with his stand-up game and like mixing that wrestling of his. So he seemed competent like just before taking the layoff in that Cannonier fight. It was quite a stand-up battle, and he dogged it out, and Cannonier dogged it out as well, and it was absolute war. And Cannonier ended up getting the victory there. And then I want to see like how he looks, what he's been doing. I mean, it's been 2 years, almost to the date, like a month or 2 months off, and like he has to come put on like a proper clinic of a show, because like you can't come in here and decision this fight and then like try and climb the rankings when everybody around you in that rankings has been active and has been either fighting top contenders or fighting young prospects that they've just broken into the top 15. And yeah, I think Marvin Vettori got off light getting this rematch against Roman Dolidze, because I don't think he should have been in the rankings after not being active for 2 years. I think he should have fell out. And then on the other side, my guy, Roman Dolidze. Now just getting the KO last time out against Kevin Holland. he looked okay, but I just felt like he was one of the journey fighters that wins one, lose one, win one, lose one. Not really a title contender. Like he's just not. He's like, I guess, top 10-ish, top 15-ish, because he's like not like capped to the point where you can say like, oh, get the job done, but he's decent enough to get the job done against like decent fighters. But you saw in the Marvel fight that he just got outclassed basically. Marvel, not like a amazing fighter, but number one in the division now or number two in the division. So like you can see like, oh, like Dolidze is not part of that cloth. So like it's interesting to see like what the fighters, what's their performance going to look like, what's the game plan going to look like, because I think both fighters need like a proper performance, and they can't really like have a grappling match and go to decision and then like fight upwards. I think both fighters need to put on a show here. Somebody needs to get a finish for them both to fight up, or either they're gonna both fight down, even if one of them wins by decision here. Especially Vettori, if he wins by decision, I don't think Dana's gonna look at him and say, "Hey, here's a top 5 contender. Let's see what you're about." I think Vettori wins. Dana might just toss like Fluffy to him and be like, "Hey, let's see what you're about," and then Fluffy's gonna KO him, and then it's like,
It's a waste
So-
of time.
yeah, so it's interesting to see like how both fighters are gonna play this. I think from the Dolidze's point of view, he's just gonna try and get himself in there, try and secure another knockout, and then move it forward. But I can't speak for Tori. I haven't seen that man in 2 years. Man went on, I don't know, world tour apparently.
Yeah, it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. We'll go to Jedi Knight.
Yes.
What's your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this one, bro?
Okay. So yeah, I I agree with Babu. Yes, look at that, but I agree with Babu and Ross also. I think both of them have to come out and put in a good performance. They can't come and try and just lay on each other and go to decision, because then it doesn't do anything for their stock. I think Dolidze has a chance to get it back here. That loss of the first fight, because he's fighting a guy who's hasn't been around for a long time, and I don't think he's been fighting. He could be training or whatever, blah 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 blah, but that's not the same thing as fighting. It's a different thing, So I think Dolidze can get it back, especially if he goes with more output and can defend being taken down, because I think Vettori is going to try and wrestle him in this fight.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, and from past fights, you can see like when Dolidze fought Jack and Anthony, he kind of just got controlled. So he needs to try and get back up, but it would be better for him to finish the fight early. Maybe with like body kicks or some shit like that. But yeah, he needs to put the pressure on from the start, and that will be his way to victory. For Vettori, I think he's got to obviously try and control Dolidze and get him up against the fence or take him down, because although Vettori is very durable, as Ross said, I think in terms of the gas tank here, I think Dolidze is going to be better than him. I think he's going to be in there. And if it goes the distance, I would like to see Dolidze kind of piecing him up like somebody who's stuck in the mud. That's just kind of trying to block and defend whatever, and that's kind of what I see how I see the fight ending.
Nicely done, Jedi. Yeah, I think I'm also inclined to agree there. I do think, like we have mentioned, the gas tank's going to be a major factor here. I think Vettori is gonna, if it stays on the feet, his gas tank's gonna be second to Dolidze. So I think he's gonna have to use wrestling to try and tip that in his advantage.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think whoever's conditioning is better in this fight is gonna get the dub. BG, final thoughts from you, please, sir. Then we'll keep it moving.
Yeah, no, we summed it up quite nicely, and that's the best way to sum it up. Whoever's going to be the best conditioned in this fight's probably going to win, and I think it could just be because we mainly seen Dolidze fight more frequently, but he has showed signs of looking like he's changed. Since he's been in the middleweight division, he's looking much better. He's grown, he's been evolving, and a 2-year layoff is massive. So, yeah, I think we leaving. Vettori's leaving us with a very much unknown factor, so we kind of were hoping to see something out of him. But yeah, Dolidze is probably going to beat him over the 5 rounds.
Yeah, inclined to agree there. I just think the more active fighter, like we've been saying, is gonna get the job done. But ladies and gentlemen, again, let us know in the comments if you have any thoughts on this one.